Hey, it's Jackie Bros.
Hey, everybody. You know what that sound means? It's your good friend Dunlap. He's got a can of something delicious
Cold drink.
that's going to help him lube his brain up so that he can have podcast intercourse with your brain. Wait, let's lube your brain up.
What?
Because I want my brain to give it to your
Don't-
brain. If
none
it was
of-
your podcast, you could fuck my brain.
Nothing. Hey, your mouth. Nothing needs to be lubed or anything like that. Just talk. Just talk. Don't. And not about that stuff.
Hey, folks, it's Dunlap. Welcome to the Red State Update Podcast. This is my sidekick, Jackie. We're out here in Los
Your
Angeles,
sidekick,
California.
That's not what it is. But all right.
We went this weekend to the Politicon convention. This was in Los Angeles, California at the Los Angeles Convention Center. We had a great time there. Jackie, did you have a good time, would you say?
I'm tired. It's all right, I guess. I talked to just as many people. Now, granted, they ain't on TV or anything, but I talked to just as many people standing in one spot, and they come and go. When I don't like going, I have to walk to each one of them, every different person. That's what it'd be like. It'd be like me giving everybody a barbecue sandwich and walking all the way to their house and giving it to them and then walking back to the store and then making another and so on and so on. But I'm too old for this. My feet are hurting and everything else.
What happened was they had one of those photo walls, like you stand in front of, you take your photo, it makes you look like you at some famous premiere or the red carpet circuit.
It wasn't nothing
It just
like
says
that.
Politicon. It's just a wall in the lobby of the convention center. Just like stood some cardboard up with decals on it. But everybody wants to take get your phone out, take a selfie of that. And then Jackie was just standing there. That was the spot he was standing in. He was standing right in front of the photo wall. So everybody had to talk to him to say, "Sir, could you please move so I can take a selfie of myself and my friend?"
I didn't mind that. That's fine. Talking to the, they tried to get me to take a picture of them, and I don't know how to work those. I'm talking about having to walk all over the damn place. That place, it wasn't that, I can't tell how big it was, but I must have walked it 28 damn times back and forth. I don't know how many miles we walked. Standing still would have been fine. I'd have been fine standing in front of that thing you talking about and just stand over to the side. Everybody said something, and then I'd go right back there. That would have been fine.
Well,
That'd
you
be
would have
like-
ain't no use for you to stand there if you ain't gonna take pictures for people. You should have been like a photo valet,
Yeah.
a selfie valet, help people out.
It ain't my job to be worried about other people's pictures. It's my job to worry about my damn feet.
So we were at Politicon yesterday. We're still in Los Angeles. We got to head over to the Las Vegas Wynn Hotel.
I bet we'll be walking all over that,
Ah,
too.
damn. You
Well,
want me to get you a wheelchair and push you around?
I might need
like
it.
Ironsides?
Maybe. That'd be fine. He
It
didn't
would be
interview. He
fine.
was in court. He didn't interview people because if he did, his microphone get all cord get tangled up in the wheels. He couldn't have done that. He just wheeled around in the courtroom. Nobody minded that. But you can't wheel all over the place with a microphone and a cord. You can't do that.
Well, you get wireless.
Well, you didn't get one of those. The one we got a
Oh,
cord on it.
Jackie trips over this cord all the time,
Well.
man. It's funny as hell. He doesn't know how to. He can't do it. So, you want to laugh? Hand Jackie a cell phone or a microphone
All
cord.
right. I'm glad it's funny for somebody. It ain't funny for me. Well, a hotel would be up and down, right? That's a tall up and down. It ain't. I don't know. It's Las Vegas. That's casinos and everything like that. But getting on the elevator going up and down. Now, just hear me out. If we go get on the elevator and stay on it, all those people that are going to be there, everybody you won't talk to who's on CNN or whoever's run for president outside of Hillary and Bernie Sanders, will
Who
be.
is that?
I don't know. What are you asking me for?
One of
If
them
I'd have known, I would have named them.
I feel like it's a Jim and a Mike, but I mean that's so run of the
Bill
mill.
something. It ain't Bill, no. Jim, Mike, and
Who are the Brady
Hal.
Brunt
Is it
bunch
Hal?
sons? Hal, Jim,
Toby.
Toby.
One of them, yeah. Little Toby was the youngest Brady, Toby Brady.
Jasmine? I don't know. There's several different people running for president on the Democrat
but
side.
hear me
That
out.
is not Hillary Clinton
If
and it's
it's
not
at-
Bernie Sanders.
If it's at the hotel, now them two, because they're so high and mighty and special, they could sell out like rock stars or whatever, go to all the kids pay money to go see old people for some reason. That don't happen in anything else but politics. Well, I guess Rolling Stones, something like that. But
Yeah, rock and roll and politics
That's
is the
it.
only place people pay to see old people.
you and I stay on that elevator all day because everyone that we're going to want to talk to.
The Grand Ole Opry,
What?
another place people pay to see old people.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah. And I said young people, young people.
Oh, yeah, young people don't go there.
They don't go Grand Ole Opry.
No.
Hell.
Do young people go see Rolling Stones? I guess take a selfie of themselves and send it to Grandma.
I
Look where I am. You remember these boys? They're still alive, some of them.
We stay on the elevator all day because more than likely, just stand there with a microphone, somebody that we want to talk to is going to get on it and get off of it at some
Well,
point in the day.
we could stand by the ice machine, too, for that matter.
I'd be fine. That'd be at least cooler than it is now. It's hot as hell out here.
By the vending machine. It's hot in Los Angeles, 100 degrees. They got damn pumpkins in the windows and a witch on a string hanging from a doorknob and 100 degrees.
Now, where we was yesterday, thank goodness, at least it was air conditioned.
There was air conditioning in the Los Angeles Convention Center. If you're planning a trip to the Los Angeles Convention Center and you're wondering, do they have air conditioning? They do. They had that son of a bench. They had that son of a bench in air conditioning pumping. We saw Newt Gingrich for a split second, and even he looked comfortable.
He didn't look comfortable.
No.
He wasn't sweating.
He
or
wasn't
anything,
sweating to where you
but
could
he
tell
still
it.
looked like a suit. No matter what size suit you put on him, it looked like it's two sizes too small.
Bigger than you think. I
Hey,
don't want to
what?
run somebody down for their
you
size.
didn't recognize him. You said, that ain't him. I said, that's his big, behind the back of his big fat head, if I ever did see it.
Now, look, Jackie's mad at Newt Gingrich. We don't
I
want to
ain't
get
mad
on
at
here
him.
and be sizist, but Jackie, we run up to Newt Gingrich. There's video of this. That's something else we should put up on YouTube. We run up to Newt Gingrich. Jackie's like, Mr. Green. He couldn't remember Newt Gingrich's
I'm trying
name.
to say real fast, and
We're both running.
The other part, that's right. Don't forget that. I had to run. So already
He's mad.
I'm having to run to somebody like that who's taking his time. He wasn't running. I guarantee you I'm older than him.
Hey, Mr. Gingrich, Mr. Gingrich.
I said, can we have a word with you? Because I'm always polite. I don't get on it like only some of the people do. You jump in somebody's face and say this. I say, do you mind if I have a word with you? I don't care if it's somebody good or somebody bad. Don't make any difference. That's how you're supposed to go to somebody, whether you have a microphone or not. So, do you mind if I have a word? Even if it's somebody just needing to move the car. Your car's blocking mine. When I go up to them, I ain't even going to do no interview. I say, excuse me, sir, you mind if I have a word with you? And they said, well, what do you want? I said, well, your car's out in the parking lot. It's blocking mine. Do you mind moving it? So that's, don't matter whether you interview them or not. Don't matter what it is. That's how you.
Why would you interview somebody whose car's
I'm
blocking
not
yours?
interviewing. That's not what I'm saying.
I mean, that might be. There's probably a podcast out there that is exactly that.
Well.
Like interviews with, they call it like blockcast. Like my car was blocking, and so we talked for a second, and I got some information. It's like people in New York, but it's like people hanging out in my driveway.
And ain't no any different than listen to this. If there is one, it's
At least they have an idea. They go into it with
there's
a
something
theme.
happening. Yeah, in that one.
And you can explain what it is.
I went running up behind him. You said, no, that ain't him. I said, that's like I said, that's his fat little head. He got a fella on either side of him. One white fella.
Were
one
they helping him walk?
Listen to me now. One white fella, one black fella on either
Why
side of
does
him.
that matter?
It don't matter. I'm just remembering what I saw. It ain't got nothing to do with it.
Well, I don't know why you'd point out race.
Because one fellow was white and one fellow was black. It's all I did.
You're not talking to a police
Did I
sketch
say-
artist. You're just talking on a podcast. You don't
Did
have to.
I say one was good and one was bad?
Well, no.
They're both working for Newt Gingrich.
So you draw your own
That's
conclusions.
right. So anyhow, I run up behind Mr. Green, and I said, Gingrich. May I have a word? And then he turns around, takes one look at me, and says, no. And then, now listen, then the little white fella turns around, looks at me, and goes, no. And then the black fella turns around and looks at me and just waves his hand like, Like he just said, no, I don't need a person on either side of him translating for him, white or black or whatever color they are.
Now, I had the camera, because Jackie and I travel a lot. We don't need no big, fancy. You didn't give us your Kickstarter dollars so we could go out and hire a crew. That'd be ridiculous. Nope, Jackie's running like an old man.
He's got the camera.
And I got the camera. So I'm running and trying to keep the camera going and keep it on Jackie and get Newt Gingrich, too. I never saw his face. All I saw was silhouette.
No, it's him.
Massive silhouette. And so what is on the camera, I never got a good, clear shot of Newt Gingrich, but you can sort of tell it's him walking into the outside into the light through this darkened corridor after shunning Jackie completely. But I do see his hand.
Don't forget him. He had help shunning me. He shunned me, and then the two fellas on either side of him.
I didn't get a good shot, but I did
turn.
see his hand sticking out into frame, and he did a little Richard Paul Carter Country Hamlet thing, kind of shooing you away.
When I say
that's on tape.
Everybody else and some of the people we end up talking to that you see, they'll put it on YouTube tonight. We got to get in bed because you got to drive to Vegas, but we're going to sit up and work on it. But
Vegas, baby.
There was some people who were busy, but this is what they'd say. They'd go, no, I'm on my way to sign my book. No, I got to go speaking here. At least, you know, Newt Gingrich, no.
Paul Begala at one point told us he was busy, and then later on,
we got to talk to him
made
a little
plenty
bit.
of time for us.
Yeah.
Oh, we're putting up a video of this, folks. If you weren't there at Politicon to watch us run around and chase after Newt Gingrich like idiots.
About 2 hours after you listen to this, there might be a video up.
We got to put a video up, so go check out our Politicon coverage.
I know we don't need to talk about it on
We
here.
don't need to talk about it, but we will just say, if you ain't watched it yet, we talked to a few different people.
We can talk about stuff that, like Newt Gingrich that didn't get on the thing.
Newt Gingrich.
There, we
already said Paul Begala's going to be on it.
Now, they had all this stuff. That's not going to make any difference whether that may mean less people watch it now that they know Paul. Ain't no extra people going to watch it. It's not like you let
Why you being so mad? He talked to us.
Nobody gives a damn about you. Want to sit there? He talked to you first off. I didn't. I'm like, who? And you said CNN. I'm like, oh yeah. And I sat there and held the camera for I don't know how long, waiting on you to talk to him. But I didn't. It wouldn't make any difference.
There was a little bit of a wait because there was another gentleman interviewing Paul Begala. I tell you, me and Paul Begala are good friends now, so I don't like the way you're talking about my buddy Paul Begala. Good buddy Paul Begala.
I ain't got nothing against him, but I don't feel like standing around and waiting to talk to him either.
Good buddy Paul Begala.
I don't even watch him on TV. What I want to hear him.
So Politicon, Los Angeles Convention Center.
Different things going on. All had to do with politics.
Entertainment. It was a fusion of entertainment.
Yeah, it's
politics,
funny people. Yeah, made fun of politics.
Music.
We
books.
went into two of these things, and after the second one, I said, I'm not going in there anymore.
Well, we sat there and watched Michelle Bachmann.
Well, that was the second thing. First thing was Trader Edward Snowden was going to talk on a big TV screen. And we was in there, and I remember we knew him from the last election, our buddy Clay Aiken.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he's singer, right?
He's a singer.
So he's in there.
Uh-huh.
We see him again. Oh, yeah, that guy. And Eric Snowden was going to come on, Edward Snowden, going to come on a big screen and tell us how he, made a fool of the United States of America, his former country that he no longer cares for. And the people just ate it up. And whoever these fellas was, who was it that did it?
The yes men.
The what men?
They're called the yes men.
Yes men. All right, whatever. They said, well, we didn't want to spoil it for any of you or anything, but he got a presidential pardon. Now, see, all this is believable. Because Obama, even though he's cussing him, he turned around. Sometimes he likes to act like he cusses Iran. It don't make any difference. He buddy everybody. So they say just this morning he got a presidential pardon. And I opened a curtain, and this fella come out. And from a distance, I guess it looked like, and everybody, that Clay Aiken fella, I never seen him more excited in my life.
He got real excited.
He was more excited about Edward Snowden than he was coming in second place on the TV show he did, I think.
He did get real excited, but we all got excited. We all were like, "Is that really what?" And then they did it for a little bit, and then they were like,
"Well, I started to get down on. I don't care. I don't know."
Jackie was running to the stage with his finger in there, going, "Traitor, traitor."
Well, I know they said presidential pardon, but sometimes it takes a while for that stuff to go through, I think. And I was trying to call the police. And everybody, y'all keep clapping, keep him occupied. I call the police. But anyhow, it turns out it wasn't him.
Yeah, it wasn't him. But we talked to the imposter in our video.
And so that's when I left that room right then. I'm like, well.
And then we went to Michelle
I don't like
Bachmann.
to go places to be confused. I'm grown up now. And about years ago, you go to a fair, walk in a room with mirror up, down, everywhere. That's confused.
Or was that Opryland room where it got real small? No, it's crooked.
Everything crooked in there, yeah. But, after I wouldn't walk on there from my feet now.
Or you go one of them corn mazes. You ever go in a corn maze?
I've been in a cornfield and in a maze.
It's the same thing.
Well, yeah.
Except you get in there with a whatever.
So
lawnmower.
I said, I'm ready to go now. Okay, get me in there, get me all worked up, and for no reason. And I said, enough of this. So we walked out of that one, and then we went to
Michelle Bachmann.
And how long we sitting there?
Too long. People getting mad. That was so what she was doing. She was talking to what's his name? The editor of the Daily Beast, Avalon.
Yeah.
And it was billed as Michelle Bachmann explains it all. It's like Michelle Bachmann explains the Middle East, God. I was like, well, that's I'd listen to this. How is this going to work out? It's like if she hosted Cosmos, like that would have been good. Like that, it sounded like that sort of setup. So I wanted to say this, but in reality, the guy from the Daily Beast kind of grilled her,
It was
held
just
her
like
feet to the fire. It was more of a debate than a Michelle Bachmann.
So basically,
it
it's like every place Michelle Bachmann is that you've ever seen her complaining about Muslims. So it's no different.
People were cheering and people were booing, so it was a lot like wrestling. And we were sitting, and that was probably the most depressing part.
Now, I like wrestling. Wrestling,
yeah, not
because
it's like wrestling.
No, wrestling.
Because
fun.
it was like wrestling, but without the wrestling, but with Michelle Bachmann.
Costumes and funny words.
No costumes.
Jumping, nothing like that. Well, I mean, not by the people on stage. Some people, there was people, Paul Revere and the Raiders.
Yep.
Those outfits, and then some people had wires on. I don't know.
I will
it's
say,
Los Angeles.
Michelle Bachmann said that the new musical, I don't know if you heard about this musical, Jackie, the new musical, Hamilton, the hip-hop musical.
Yeah.
About Alexander Hamilton and the founding of the country.
Oh, she liked that, didn't she?
She liked that.
Yeah.
A hip-hop musical. Rap music is what that is, Jackie, with a multicultural cast.
Well,
she loved it. She said the best musical she's ever seen.
Well, if it's rap, I ain't going to like it. Good
and
for
the
her.
Daily Beast guy was like, yep, me too.
Well, there was one thing that got along.
And
That's one
downhill from there.
That's good. Even though I don't like rap music, that's the good kind of rap music right there.
What, about
makes people
1700s?
No, just rap music. Usually rap music, I think, is always mean, isn't it?
A lot of stuff's mean.
Well, I know that. I didn't say, but
the world is full of mean entertainment that's awesome.
I didn't say good or bad.
What's a Louis L'Amour book? Shooting and raping horses?
No, there ain't no raping horses in that. Don't even.
I never read one. There's not any?
No, there ain't in that. No.
You know what I'm thinking of?
There's
some self-published erotica on Amazon you can buy. And it's like, I think they changed the spelling of L'Amour. So it's like Louise L'Amour, and it's like the trembling horse's desire or something like that.
Enough about
Is that
horses.
not who you talk about on here all the time?
I talk about Louis L'Amour and White Westerns. But see, now there's bad things in those, but there's a good man that takes care of all the bad things. Now, some rap music is just the bad man's talking, and it talks not 'cause he's black. There's Chinese people that rap. There's all different kinds of people that rap. So don't put no words in my mouth. But the person who's rapping, let's say just for sake of argument, Chinese, all right? This is a Chinese rapper, and all he's saying is, I'm mean, and here's my gun, and where's my girlfriend that sometimes I beat up on, and I gotta get in my car and drive away now. This got gold rims and all that fancy stuff. There's no good person in that, see?
That's still racist, but in more ways.
What?
Somehow you made it more racist about more races somehow.
I said Chinese. How can I get any louder? Chinese.
So if somebody wrote a hip-hop musical about, say, the founding of the Jack Daniels distillery,
I'm not gonna like it any
story
more or less.
George Jones biography, you think
No,
decided
they
to make
better
it?
not do that. I hope nobody
That would
ever
be
does
pretty
that.
funny. That would be pretty funny.
But whatever you saying, there's a history rap, and that's good. I'm glad that people learn about history. However you learn about that's good, and I know there's
she
a lot
loves
of
history.
There's a lot of Jesus rap out there too. I don't
Yep.
understand it, but people say that's talk about Jesus. That's what they're saying. All right, well, good. Turn it off now. It don't matter what it is they're saying. I don't want to hear it. So, but if it's something that's rap about history and it makes Michelle Bachman get along with a beast, good. They're glad somebody made it. Because that's the only thing they agreed on the whole time. She said, I like it, rap musical, history, but let me talk about Muslims. But sometimes she didn't want to talk about Muslims. It was a beast man just as bad because he said, now, let's talk about Muslims now. He kept trying to bring it up.
Why would you say that to Michelle Bachman if you like Muslims?
That's my point exactly.
So Politicon was a lot of fun.
That was the last thing we went into the rest of the day. That was it.
The rest of the time we just walked around and stood by the photo wall. We got a couple of soda waters at one point.
Yeah. It was how much was a Coca-Cola was $9.
Well, I think two of them was $9.
Well, that's still too much.
But it's a big cup.
Two of them should be $1.
Well, are you at the concession stand at the elementary school ball game?
Maybe that's a concession stand I prefer, yeah.
Oh, we should have mentioned this at the top. If you hear children screaming, or if you hear the loud rumble of an air conditioner, because it's so hot in Los Angeles.
Out here. We got that thing on all the way high, and it's still hot. Now, I work in a hot kitchen, so I'm used to hot. I've got, but all day in it, no. At some point in the day, I get off and I go home.
We're out here at the Seascape Inn in Eagle Rock, California. I found a good deal on this.
I hope you didn't pay much for this.
There's a pool out there that's
that pool ain't been.
That's full of children and they're neighborhood kids. They're not guests of the hotel. And we said something to the manager. He said, "Oh, kids are gonna be kids or whatever." Like, I'm not the neighborhood cop. So he said he ain't going to stop no kids from getting in the pool and doing whatever they want in there. I said, who's liable if one of them falls and cracks a tooth open? So I don't know. Their parents, I guess.
He don't give a damn what goes on in that swimming
No, he's just
pool.
sitting
He don't
back
care about
in
nothing.
there with just sweating, his shirt open, his chest sweating, reading a magazine.
I had to sit there at the window, and trust me, I'd rather sit and watch TV or flip the channels or something. But children shouldn't be unsupervised.
He said yeah, parents work all week.
Well,
They
I
get
said
tired. Let them take a break.
But then what he said to me, I had the window open so I could keep an eye on all the children, because like I said, it shouldn't be supervised, and then he implies something that I like, that's what is fun for me to do.
You were yelling a lot at the children.
I watch it. Is what I yelled at him. Careful now.
Mm-hmm. You, get away from her.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
What's weird is that it's so hot here, and it's hot in the hotel office. Motel office ain't got no air conditioning. He's sitting in there, his shirt open, sweat dripping down his hairy chest, pooling up in the middle where the fat creases, that crease.
All right, enough.
But the magazine he's reading, I've never even heard of this. It doesn't make any sense. Why would you read? He's reading Swelter magazine. It's a magazine all about the hottest things on earth. Why would you read that on today if you're sitting in an office with no air conditioning? Read a whole magazine about...
I had nothing against hot things, but I wouldn't read that magazine anytime.
No, it doesn't. Who's that for?
I
guess somebody lives somewhere real cold. But he lives at the Seascape Inn in Eagle Rock, California.
Yeah, it's hot here, yeah.
It's hot. And in the microwave dings, he's got one of them Stouffer's, not Stouffer's, the 99-cent kind you get that you heat up like the pasta, the hot pasta, but you get that 99-cent. I think it's named after an Italian woman. You buy that at you can get a stroganoff kind. You can get a tomato sauce kind. He had a couple of them going in the microwave. He comes out and he's just eating that. He's just sweating more and telling Jackie to quit looking at all the kids.
He'd take two of them out and put two in and eat the two while two of them was getting hot in the microwave.
The walls are paper thin here, and I can hear the microwave bell dinging. I don't know how many times. It's just like
damn day and night.
He's just heating up cheap-ass Stouffer rip-offs in the microwave to where they're steaming hot, reading Swelter magazine, sitting in that hot-ass office, sweating through his shorts.
Just content with himself, seem like.
All he wants to do is to invite the neighborhood children into the hotel pool and yell at Jackie.
Well.
And not listen to us with any of our complaints.
Those children ain't your concern. What you looking at? All children are my concern. I care about all children in this country.
But he did say he could score me some Molly, so later me and him are going to go out later tonight.
What?
So that's Politicon Weekend here on the Red State Update podcast.
On the computer later, look at it. We gotta just do the sponsors, and I don't even know what to talk about, but I gotta get to bed and rest my feet. We gotta get up in the morning and drive to.
You ain't walking to Las Vegas.
I know I ain't, but once I get there, I know I'm going. I'm telling you, just let me stand in the elevator.
Now we're teasing people by telling them we're about to drive from Los Angeles to Las Vegas. They're gonna want to see some footage of this. They're gonna want to see you wandering around out in the desert. They're gonna want to see you stopping off in Barstow and looking for in Needles, looking for Snoopy's brother.
I ain't got time to do all that, so I ain't doing it.
They're going to want to see some hilarious banter between us and the car.
Why can't they just be happy with what going to the debate, the
no
politics stuff? I don't need to be out in the desert looking around.
We kick-started a thing. We are on the internet and social media. Our lives belong to other people now. They can request anything they want to from us, and we have to open our veins and spill it all over the stage.
I don't have to say it that way. If there's
I know. It's only rock and roll.
If there's something of interest, yeah, we'll pull over, look at it for a few minutes, take a picture. It's vacation for me, even though any vacation, no matter where it was I would have gone, wouldn't be walking this much.
And probably not get yelled at by Newt Gingrich.
Well, yeah, that's for
probably.
Sure. It ain't. Does anybody want to fly across the country, and how many people would...
Sponsor time.
Just
sponsor
send me
time.
over there.
Just calm down.
Get screened at by Newt Gingrich. I would eat it.
I can't wait for you to take your pain pills.
And he's probably going to be Speaker of the House.
He might be Speaker of the House.
I guess if that wasn't going on in the news right now, then he probably would have talked to us. But he's like, no, I'm going to be Speaker of the House.
You think that's it?
Yeah, I think that's the attitude he had. Yeah.
He ain't going to be no Speaker of the
House. That's what he thinks. That's what he thinks. I don't think he's going to be either, but they start talking about it in the news. And I guarantee that's what it is, because it did look like it. I may even heard him mumble that under his breath. He's like, no, I'm going to be sick as fuck. Hell, that's what he's thinking.
I don't think I didn't hear that. But
Go back, be it again. That's they want me
that's
back.
what he said. He's going to go back and be it again.
That's his attitude. I don't know if that's what he said.
I'm
Per
still
se,
speaker.
but-
He doesn't talk like a baby, but he looks like he talks like
He looked
a baby.
like a big baby is what it looks like. Big, round, pink. Just big, pink baby. Just
like a baby that had a lot of hair and got scared.
Well, yeah.
It's easy to scare a baby, really. They ain't the easiest things to scare.
Yeah, peekaboo sometime, baby, get to crying and everything else. Of course, they're easy to scare. They don't know any better. Yeah. My sponsor now, I got to remember to do my sponsor. This, last week, you remember, delicious new restaurant in what they call a theme restaurant. What the word is that a French word? It's ambiance.
Yeah, you gotta get some good ambiance.
Ambiance
these
is a
days.
word I like it to call it. And it was the waiting room. Good food on top of it. Three different continental dinners or lunch, and delicious food. I didn't have all three. I had one Americana, and it was good.
Yeah.
Well, I got bad news on this now, because I know how many people you know out there saying, "Oh, Obamacare is working. Oh, thank goodness for Obamacare. I was sick, and now I'm 100%
We're about
better."
to see a bunch of them when we get to Las Vegas.
Yeah,
Crowding around outside going, Bernie Sanders,
well,
Bernie Sanders.
I got a story to tell them. Because of Obamacare,
I hate stories that start out that way.
yeah, you know how
You
it's
know
gonna
something
turn.
bad's
That's
coming.
right. They had, what's the word I'm trying to say? They didn't have the money. Don't cover this anymore, so they had to. What is it? They had to.
What are you talking about? It didn't cover what?
The money, the waiting rooms. The doctors are having.
I heard about like a lot of doctors are having trouble coming up with the money to keep the waiting room
That's
section.
right.
They're having to outsource the waiting room part of their operation to like
that's the
independent
word, they're
companies.
That's because the money they can't afford because of what Obamacare has done to them.
They can't afford to own and operate a waiting room themselves because of Obamacare.
That's it. So now the waiting room is
Uh-huh.
an actual. It's been out. Yeah, it's an actual waiting room now. I can't. How many piece of paper over there? It's got the name on it. I can't remember that. It's Janice O'Leary, Pradouse Patel. Dr. Janice O'Leary Pradouse Patel. It's the official waiting room for that doctor, who I'm sure it ain't a board doctor. I don't know, Janice. I didn't mean, I ain't saying, I don't know. But good for them. Because at least if you are seeing that doctor, see, now that's the thing. Those people are going to think Obama has made these nice plush waiting rooms for everybody where they have a delicious meal in it. No, you still have to pay for that meal. They people going to be going there thinking that's their free food.
So
I
it's still
guarantee you.
operating. Let me see if I can get this straight. It's still operating as a restaurant.
Well, yeah, it's
but
still
you
a
can't
restaurant.
walk in there off the street, or you can.
Well, if you want to get something to eat, I guess. Yeah, I guess. I didn't think
So
about that
there are
way.
diners in there.
But it's an actual waiting room. It's been
And
outsourced
sick
for
people.
Dr. Patel.
Wait a minute. So that's one doctor, Dr. Janice O'Leary Pradesh Patel?
Yeah, either one or however many names.
We're
you
not
said.
sure. That may be two or three different doctors.
I don't
Or it might
know.
be one. So there's a doctor. It's either Dr. That's probably just one. Let's just say that. It's Dr. Janice O'Leary Pradesh Patel.
Yeah.
Her waiting room.
Oh, he is. We don't know.
Or Janice.
Hey, you the one. It's Chinese or black. What you tell me?
I don't.
Boy,
You said
girl,
words
you the
in
one
an accusatory tone, but they don't make any
You
sense.
gonna tell me there's a boy that ain't named Janice somewhere that just got offended by you? You don't know?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I'm sorry earlier too, if I did something wrong.
We're both real sorry.
I apologize, yeah.
We're sorry to all the male Janices and Chinese rappers.
Nothing against you, just not my cup of tea.
So the waiting room, let me see if I got this now. Waiting room, actual restaurant where you can I could make a reservation, go to the waiting room.
You can still go there, but you're gonna be in there with
sick people.
Well, people going to see the doctor for it. I don't know what kind of doctor that is either, so I don't know. But I guarantee you, they'll think, it's Obamacare. Look, this. No, they ain't paying for that food.
Now, wait, do the sick people going in there, do they get free food?
They don't get free food. Hell no, they got to pay for it.
So everybody got to pay for their food.
Well,
what did Dr. Janice O'Leary Pratyush Patel do with her actual waiting room?
Hell, I don't know the doctor, let alone what they did with the waiting room. What is?
Because I heard some people are renting it out. Some doctors are renting that extra space out. It's like storage units.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to make extra money.
Well,
they just can't afford.
They got to do what they got to do to keep afloat. Bless their
Apartments.
hearts.
Like sometimes they have waiting rooms. I guess this is the case since Dr. Janice O'Leary Pratyush Patel's office is not directly connected to the waiting room. I guess they have a shuttle that takes you from the waiting room restaurant
Something like that, yeah.
to her office.
Yeah.
Huh. That's terrible.
Or
This
one of
country,
them,
man. This country.
I may call cab. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess you could Uber.
It's Obama. He hates freedom the most and checking his doctors.
So that is the waiting room. Now an actual waiting room. They just wanted to make an announcement, I guess, let people know.
Yeah.
Give you $25.
$25, let people, you should know if you're going to be sitting beside somebody coughing, sick.
Well,
I hope I stay in business. I hope Obama didn't run another business into the ground. That's all I'm going to say.
By the same token, my sponsor this week, I think you're really going to like this sponsor, Jackie. I got a good sponsor this week. I don't know if you've heard about this. Because of Obamacare.
Oh, there we go again. Pitiful.
A lot of doctors' offices
Yeah.
can't afford to keep open their waiting rooms.
What? You just said that, but just...
It's awful.
I know it is.
Disheartening.
I just said
I don't know if you've heard anything about this. It was on the news.
I just said it.
So what is happening is a lot of these doctors' offices that have waiting rooms that they can't afford to operate
I didn't
any
say
longer.
it less than a minute ago.
They're outsourcing the operation of the waiting rooms to independent companies. You ever heard anything like that before? That's the state of this country.
That's what I just... The waiting room used to be a restaurant because what you just said, repeating what I just said, and asked a real waiting room.
Now, that's confusing.
I
What
know
you
it
said didn't
is.
make any sense. It was a restaurant called the waiting room, acting like, and now it's an actual waiting room. That's too much to handle. That's too much.
That's
People are not going to be
Obamacare.
able to track that.
Wow.
What I'm talking about is a company called a fancy company who actually they operate out of Las Vegas, Nevada, where we're going.
Yeah.
I don't. You ever heard of Zappos?
Zappos.
Zappos. They make shoes.
Zappos shoes? No.
You order them on the computer. You order your shoes on the computer, and they took over like the downtown area of Las Vegas, and they have some weird way. They don't have bosses. I just read this article. They ain't got no bosses at Zappos.
What?
Nobody reports to anybody. They just run around making shoes like idiots, putting them in boxes, mailing them out.
That sounds like an elf or something.
Well,
Come in the house overnight, just
Pretty
for no
close.
reason, just to make shoes.
online commerce, Jackie. That's the way. We've gone back to elf times.
Yeah.
It always goes
Well,
full circle.
Don't surprise me none. Obamacare, that's what's doing to everybody.
Well, close to where Zappos is a little smaller campus, and
Huh?
this is a campus of Wait, lowercase w, W-A-I-T, period, in, two capital letters, Rooms, R-U-M-Z.
Wow.
Wait, period, in rooms. Very trendy. If there's pictures, they have a website that tells you about their operation. Then they have a website that's just pictures of their offices. And
Wow.
it's just like colored lights and sometimes they have Nerf fights, and sometimes they take baths together.
All right. I don't need to know that about them.
It just looks like a fun place to work. So Wait in Rooms is this company. They're going around. If a doctor's office is in trouble because of Obamacare, they're stepping up and saying, hey, let us take over. They'll either, if you've got a waiting room that you just can't afford, like to buy magazine subscriptions for, they'll come in and they'll take over the actual space of your waiting room, or they'll let you rent out your waiting room. You know, some people are renting it out just as like extra closets for people who have a lot of clothes, and some people they're renting it out for like handball.
So doctors, this is a real waiting room.
Yeah, it's a whole company. They'll whatever you need to do. Doctors that can't afford waiting rooms, they'll either they'll find a space, they'll shuttle sick people back and forth. It may take them a while, depending on how far out they have to go to find affordable real estate. And you got 3 themes you can pick from. It's sort of like last week your sponsor was a theme restaurant themed after a waiting room.
Right, yeah.
Which has now become an actual waiting room.
Well, because of Obamacare, but
these are waiting rooms that are themed after the club, which is you have to wait outside. There's a doorman at the front he's seeing who looks like they're hot enough to get in and get the medical attention they need. You go in, it's just like booming, thumping, and you get like overpriced. There's bottle service.
What?
Or B, Moroccan Bazaar.
What is that?
Enter the mysterious world of the Orient. Or is that where Morocco is?
I don't know.
They didn't give me anything to read. I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my pants. Moroccan Bazaar. Did you ever see... No, I'm not going to name any movies because I feel like that's going to get racist real fast.
Why?
I'm just going to stop.
What do you
just
mean?
Going to stop. What would you say a Moroccan Bazaar is?
I don't know what it is.
Mysterious, right? Yep, that's Moroccan Bazaar.
All right, fine, yeah.
And 3, James Bond Ice Hotel.
James Bond Ice
The
Motel.
third theme of the waiting room you can choose from. Let's say that your doctor, Janice O'Leary, Pradeyush Patel, and you're like, you know what, this whole waiting room themed restaurant is frankly bullshit.
It ain't. What?
I'm pulling out. I'm going with in rooms.
Why would
I heard they have very stylish offices, and I pulled them up on my phone, and I can see photos of everybody in a bath together, and there's a blue light.
Why? I don't want to
James
look
Bond Ice Hotel looks like the theme for my waiting room. That's where I want my patients to cool their heels. No pun intended. Well, intended.
James Bond Ice.
You remember that James Bond movie where there was like an ice hotel?
That's 4 or 5 of them, I think.
There's a wax Halle Berry in there.
Well,
And remember the Chinese guy with all the shit in his face?
he's in there too.
No, they got pictures of him.
Oh. How they hanging on the walls if it's...
Well, you got to have somebody who knows what they're doing.
Well, yeah.
You got to have an eye. Plus, it's not real ice. They're using like holograms.
Well, in the James Bond movie, it was real ice.
Well,
so,
yeah, in the movie,
well,
it was
yeah,
real.
I know it was real.
But in
the
real
movie.
life, you got to cut some corners.
I kept trying to figure it out. I know which one you're talking about now. He drove a car around inside of it. Yeah.
I don't think you can do that either. It's just they just keep it cold, and they give you a coat.
What? And that's a waiting room?
Well, they're working on more. That's the least popular one.
I know.
They added James. At first, it was just Ice Hotel, and nobody wanted that.
All I know
People
is...
were like, what? And then they added James Bond to it. Now people are like, well, I remember, but still.
And this is all because of one thing, and that's Obamacare. I
Yep.
didn't understand half of what you said. But it don't make any difference.
Nope. Does not.
Nope.
Thanks, Obama.
Hey, look at there. You see him? Well, open your damn eyes in. It's the old-timey country down-home red state update podcast and them. Coming to you from a bunker underneath Jackie's Market in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And here they are, both of them.
Hey, Jackie Bros.
Folks, it's your pal Dunlap. You know what that sound means.
You drink cold drink, yeah.
Having another one.
Okay, I probably had more than those I normally would just 'cause it's cold to drink.
It's hot here in Los Angeles.
It's miserable. We got to get up.
It's 100 damn degrees and these pumpkins.
It's going to be worse in Las Vegas, ain't it?
Can you cook a pumpkin? I mean, you know how you say it's so hot you can fry an egg on the sidewalk. Well, people's pumpkins cooking on their front step? I bet those pumpkins cooking. Are people's pumpkins cooking on their front steps?
Wolfman, Dracula, all of them.
Sweating their balls off.
Hey, man, don't say it like that.
Let's see how hot it's going to be. Oh, Siri, what's the damn weather forecast for Las Vegas?
Here's the weather for Las Vegas, Nevada, between today and October 20th, 2015.
Oh, shit, that's a long... You didn't have to give me all that. Looks like tomorrow, Jackie,
Yeah.
94 degrees.
Yep.
We're talking about tomorrow being October, 13th?
Well, then what's it going to be?
Monday the 13th of 2015. People could be listening to this in the future. Tuesday is 96 degrees. Wednesday is 96 degrees. Thursday is 93 degrees.
Tuesday's the day we got.
Friday's 86. Tuesday is the day we got to go stand outside and talk to Bernie Sanders people.
Oh, good Lord.
Hey, say hey if you're listening. If there's anybody who listens to this podcast, we'll be in Las Vegas, and you live in Las Vegas. I mean, we're not coming to you, but we'll be around. Don't kill us.
That's the thing. We're in Los Angeles. You come all the way out here. Now, Newt Gingrich is offensive, and that's made me upset. But other than that, I don't know. There must have been 3 people that recognize you and I.
Yep, I'd say 3 people.
That don't know us from that. I mean, never met us anyway. Like people recognize more than that every day here at work, but they know me. They
recognize you as Jackie, who owns the store that they're in.
Yeah, but not as a thing on a computer, no. That's nice. Met some nice. There were a lot of nice people.
A lot of nice people.
Yeah, we got to meet. Newt Gingrich was not one of them.
Jackie holds grudges. I don't know if you've noticed this, but if you're going to diss Jackie a la Mike Huckabee, or you're going to diss Jackie a la Newt Gingrich, Jackie going to hold a grudge.
Well,
now, if somebody who Jackie likes, like, say, Governor Rick Perry, or if somebody Jackie likes, like, say, George W. Bush, if they ever dissed him, Miss Sarah Palin, Governor Sarah Palin, I don't know how he would react.
Well, they wouldn't behave that way. Now, there wasn't too long ago that I liked old Newt Gingrich, if you remember, when they was, he wouldn't have done no worse than Romney, but I was pulling for
Wait, didn't you paint a picture?
I did. I was wanting him to be president, compared to what we had to deal with.
That's right.
Now, right now, he'd be the best thing in the world. They want him to be the Speaker of the House again. Hell, run for president. Good Lord.
Guess he's tired.
He is wore out. No.
I didn't know if he was going to make it to the end of that hallway or not.
Show me Miss Gingrich, your mouth. No. Turn around and look at you. Looks you up and down. No. And then the white guy goes, no. And the black guy waves his hand. No. All 3 of them. Didn't take but one of you to tell me that.
Do you think he remembers you painting that picture of him?
Why would it?
And didn't take it as a compliment? The compliment is for which it was intended?
I guess we should have took that picture along with us. Maybe if he'd have seen that.
Made a big deal out of presenting it to him. I tell you what, I think what would have happened is he would have, imagine a movie asshole, like an asshole from a movie that just people aren't even an asshole that way in real life. Just like the bad guy in like a fraternity comedy. And you'd say, Mr. Gingrich, I painted this picture here of you. And he'd say, "Oh, a picture." He'd look you up and down and say, and his handlers would move. Let us take care of this, boss. He'd say, "No, no, no." And he'd say, "A picture, huh? Well, let me see that thing." And he'd say, "Well, here you go. I don't know. I hope it's a good likeness." He'd say, "Huh?" And he'd turn it over and look at, hold it up. Say, "What do you think, boys? Is that a good likeness?" He'd say, "Come here, take a closer look." And then he'd like, bam, hit you over the head with it, and you'd be wearing it. And your head be sticking out of that picture. It looked like it's your face.
Well, would put that past him.
And you'd have little birds flying around your head.
All right.
And he'd be laughing like, "Let's go, boys."
He should be appreciative that anybody painted a picture of him. And not many people, ain't too many paintings of
Usually people
Newt
cover
Gingrich.
up pictures of Newt Gingrich.
Yeah. That's right.
So we talked to Newt Gingrich for a second this weekend.
He said no to us.
Another person you like, Jackie, for now, until he disses you, Dr. Ben Carson.
Well,
He's been making some waves lately.
well, he's.
A front runner, right? I'd say he is the front runner.
I
currently.
think people are the press are confusing him, or he's not used to dealing with reporters. Because everybody says Trump doesn't deal with them right, and now they're saying Dr. Ben Carson don't deal with them right. Well, good for them. It's not like you have to learn how to talk to the press or whatever, but like Trump gets mad and says something mean, and then he says, "I didn't mean it that way." But Dr. Ben Carson says something that either they took the wrong way or just didn't come out right, and then they ask him about it again, and then he says something else that they don't come out the right way or they don't take right, and then they ask him about it one more time, and it's the same thing again, and that don't look good on either side, press or Dr. Ben Carson. Now, we all know he's a smart man, but you got to be as smart as a whip to do the things that man does, cutting into somebody's head like that. Not many people do it.
Just because you have the skills to separate twin brains,
Yeah.
don't mean you got the skills to answer a question about what to do in a mass shooting.
Well, that's true. I don't think it necessarily does mean you should know that, but you must be a smart fella.
But you don't have to be. You can be smart in a different way. Everybody's not smart in the same way. You
Well-
wouldn't go to Dr. Janice O'Leary Pratyush Patel and say, "Hey, doc, how can I protect myself in a mass shooting?" No, you wouldn't.
No, doctor's not the person I
You'd
would
go to her for whatever, or him for whatever.
You
or her
go to somebody
specialty
else
is.
for that. I understand that, and that's what they're beating up on him about. And that that's. I wish he'd say what you just said there. Said you go to somebody else to talk about that.
He said, I know how to operate on brains. I don't know what to do in an
could
active shooter situation."
he
But then they
could-
could turn it around on him and say, "Well, okay, let's say you're operating on a brain."
Now, see, he could do he is doing good as Trump, but he could use a little bit of what Trump does, and he could have said just what you said. Like they said, well, did you really believe that? And all if it was Trump saying it, he'd be like, "I'll operate on brains," and that'd be the end of the conversation.
Yeah, Trump always says,
I'm a good businessman, or I'm a good leader.
I mean, he'll say some
manager.
bullshit, and then they'll say, "What?" And he'll say, I make deals. That's what I do."
That's Dr. Ben Carson. You're already ahead of him a little bit. Just steal a little bit of that and just say, I'll cut into your brain right now and make you ask that question 4 or 5 different ways if I want to. Whatever he wants to say. I took these two youngins' heads together and cut them up. Split them up. Don't need to ask him anything else, do you?
Now, if they subdued a shooter
Yeah.
and they wanted to punish him,
Uh-huh.
and they wanted to bring Dr. Ben Carson in to operate on his or her brain and like do some sort of brain punishment, like do what you're saying, make him say a bunch of different things or make his legs jerk up.
Sure.
Dr. Ben Carson be who you call.
Yeah. I still think you can call him for different things. I'm just,
You're smart in different ways, but that doesn't mean you're only smart in one thing.
Well, it's-
Obviously, people think he's smart enough. He's smart in the president way
Yeah.
and in the doctor way.
Yeah.
He's may not be smart in the horrible mass shooting way.
Now, does he hunt a fish and all that stuff? I don't even know about him shooting guns. I had to ask him.
I don't know. We ain't read his book.
I
sure.
know he's for guns. I know enough, and that's all I need to know. That's what's important.
Yeah, because he's not talking about having his gun on him. He's talking about, like, everybody ganging up on him or telling him to shoot
Different
the guy
ways
behind the
to
counter.
get, yeah, different ways to. Well, it started off. He said I wouldn't just stand there and let somebody shoot me. Well, hopefully none of us would, But it comes off in a way it doesn't sound good when you say it that way. He was just saying I
No,
do
not
something
after a lot of people just been
that
shot.
got killed. That's right, because it makes it sound like they should have. If they knew how to cut into people's brains, they wouldn't be laying all over the place.
But then he doubles down on it, and it's not just the people, like one person getting shot, like in a mugging, or like a bunch of people getting shot by like a mass shooter. Then it's the Holocaust. He goes to the Holocaust.
Well, before it gets to the Holocaust, because people say he wouldn't know the first thing to do if you had a gun on him, and sure enough, he said he was in a Popeyes establishment.
Right.
Someone put a gun in his ribs, and they said, "Give me your money." And he said, "Well, I believe if the gentleman you want is that fella." Now, Popeyes out here in Los Angeles, I don't know where he's from, because we went into Popeyes out here. There's thick glass in between, because people saying, "Oh, that's a coward. What a coward to do that." But no, if he was in, I don't know which Popeyes he was, but if there's Popeyes out here, it's got glass real thick, a bullet couldn't get through there. So just want to defend him a little bit.
Yeah, if he was in one of them thick glassed Popeyes,
Yeah.
he's nothing. And then the mugger is distracted by trying to break that glass or shooting into that glass, and that's when Dr. Ben Carson can pull his move and trip him or hit him with a napkin dispenser or run out the door.
Right, all of the above, right. And let's be honest here. If somebody shot, now people gonna take this the wrong way, but listen, let's say that you are a little baby connected to another baby by its head.
Wait,
Who would-
hold, let me get that in my mind. Okay.
Who would you rather get shot? Somebody working behind the cashier at Popeyes, or a brilliant brain surgeon? Who do you
Nope.
want to live? He knows he.
Equal.
What? Why is
They're
that
all
equal? No.
What you're saying is eugenics.
Eugenics.
Or isn't that right? Isn't that when you kill people like who work at fast food restaurants and keep the doctors alive?
That whatever it is.
It's Hitler talk.
It ain't Hitler talk.
You're doing what Dr.
How
Ben
many
Carson.
lives is he gonna save?
Well, you can't make that. I don't know how many meal deals is Popeyes gonna serve hungry people whose blood sugar could crash and get cranky at work later.
There's a point to saying maybe he's a young college student making their way, working real hard at Popeyes to go to college, become a real smart doctor. Now, yeah.
What if it's a beautiful young Popeyes employee who later grows up to marry Dr. Ben Carson or the murderer?
What?
We don't know the butterfly effect,
I
Jackie.
know I
if
don't,
you start saying who lives and who dies,
I'm
you're
just-
going to change the future.
Just saying who's this. If you was a baby connected to another baby by your head, your answer might be different. That's all I'm saying. Just one way to look at it. But anyway,
It depends on how hungry I am.
all right. After the Popeyes thing, then he said if the Jews in World War II had, didn't let the Nazis take the guns or something like that. I don't know. This one I'm confused
I think
on.
just
If they-
basically they should have done better.
Well,
Jews should have really brought it.
they didn't have much of a.
I'm not saying this. Dr. Ben Carson is the one
I
saying
know he said it, but I'm just wondering if it was misconstrued or something. Maybe he said, "I wish they did better." That would have
Well,
been
I don't
what
think
he
he's
was saying.
specific. I'm just paraphrasing.
All right.
I don't want anybody who listens to this podcast to take what we say as the gospel. Do some,
Oh, hell no.
look it up on Snopes.
Well, that's what happened to Dr. Ben Carson. Oh, wait, I still
I
like
think he's
him.
still saying it.
He's
like, oh, if they'd had guns, back during Genghis Khan days, like
Well,
maybe we wouldn't all have a little bit of their DNA in us.
I still like Dr. Ben Carson. He's a brilliant man.
What did he say? Like if if they'd had guns when they took that footage of Bigfoot walking across the road, we'd have proof of Bigfoot today.
That's
Just
true,
a lot of different things. If Jackie O had a rifle with a scope and the presence of mind,
there's no telling what you could do, right? But
if
I mean,
more people had more guns throughout history at times that they were being murdered by by forces beyond their control, history would be really different.
well,
that's all
true.
we're saying.
That's all. Well, that's all I think. All Dr. Ben Carson was saying. He probably shouldn't have used the Holocaust. That's probably the worst example you could have used.
What if? We can think of a lot of murdered people. I could just start bringing up examples of murdered people or horrible historic atrocities, and throwing in like, well, what if they'd had a gun, or what if they'd had a gun? And we could do that for the rest of the podcast. But what's that gonna get us?
He's in enough trouble already by himself.
Nicole Simpson.
We don't need to. Yeah, we're not going to help him make it. We're not going to make that situation any better for Dr. Ben Carson. Probably just make it worse. And
Archduke Ferdinand.
And I like Dr. Ben Carson, so I think I just not going to. We'll just let this one go.
A lot of Indian tribes. So we're headed, I guess we're going to take a break. We're going to take a break and end this podcast and get ready for bed. Jackie's going to soak his feet.
I'm going to soak my feet all night.
I'm going to go out with the guy who manages the hotel.
How are you going out with that man? He's nothing but rude and mean.
Yeah, and smells bad.
Well, then why you...
he's got the hookup for two things, Molly and them delicious, cheap...
Molly...
Stouffer's ripoffs, and I do want one of them stroganoffs.
All right.
It's hot, but it's cooled off a little bit outside. The kids are still in the pool, which is weird. There's more kids. It's late, and there's more children in that pool than there have been all day.
Look up later on. We may get this thing we did yesterday on the computer. Look for that, and then we're going to go see. Everybody thought that last debate was bad. Just wait. We're going to go see this one in Las Vegas.
Yeah, so we got video up from Politicon. We got video coming later this week from Las Vegas debate.
And then I needed to take a break. I'm sorry.
We're not doing any more. They gave us Kickstarter money. We have to keep.
I know it, but I'm running around.
Should we do our podcast
places.
in Las Vegas this week?
I don't know. It don't make any difference to me where we do it.
A lot of times we just decide things on the spur of the moment.
If we do, don't do it in the buffet. I'm looking forward to going to the big buffet there. And that people let us know when we went to Reagan's, went into the Ronald Reagan Cafe.
Yeah, where should we eat in Las Vegas? I know there's damn. Let's talk about this for a while. There's damn Toby Keith got a restaurant there.
I want to go there.
And I know he's got a big bologna sandwich, and you can go to Gillies.
A bologna sandwich?
Yeah, on the menu. Toby Keith got this big hunk of bologna cut off. It's got all this cheese on it.
Oh, that sounds good there. I like it.
So maybe we could talk to a manager or somebody.
But they said if we do the thing, don't eat on it. People don't like listening to us.
Did we talk about that on here? We did get
I don't know.
I think a great piece of criticism from
it's
somebody.
It's reasonable. We just didn't think about it.
I cannot listen to you two eat on, and I
want to apologize.
We have done that several times.
Well, we just don't think about it. You get to hungry, you get to eat.
And lots of times, I think YouTube videos, podcasts, we're just sitting and smacking.
Well, we didn't mean nothing by it. I'm trying to keep mind of it, so maybe we shouldn't do one of these in Las Vegas, because at least if we do, don't do it at the buffets.
So we'll see everybody next week. Thanks for listening to us. What is it, Jackie?
Huh? What is what?
Where's all the places?
Oh, on the computer, you mean?
Yeah,
oh, yes,
all the computer
Facebook. I thought I didn't know what you meant. On Facebook, Twitters, Chaches, YouTubes, and iTunes. I always forget that in iTunes. Listen, rate the reviews, and thank you kindly. And my feet, they hurt, so I need to get off of here, get in the bathroom.